Hey friends, good morning. It is late June here in mid-Michigan, and I realized I haven't filmed a garden tour video yet this year to show you what I've got growing right now. The garden's starting to explode, and so I want to show you what I got going on this year. So just for some context, this is my third year with a garden here at this property, and we don't have a ton of space. Our septic tank and drain field are back there, so we can't really expand in those directions. And this is really the only place that gets much sun because we have lots and lots of woods here on our property. So we try to do a lot of vertical growing and we do what we can. So let me show you what we've got going on this year. So we are not big tomato eaters in our family. We'll have one occasionally, like on a hamburger or something like that, but we do a lot of sauces. And so all of my tomatoes, all the way down here, are all a paste tomato. They're specifically the San Marzano Lungo tomato, which it's kind of like a Roma, and it makes amazing sauce. And we can use it for things like salsa and other things we might want to eat a tomato here and there. But this is more tomatoes than I had growing last year, which is great. They're starting to flower a little bit, which is always fun. And these kind of tomatoes are what are called indeterminate, and so they don't have a determined height. They will just keep going and going and going and going until it frosts. So we try to give them as much support as we can. I've only got 2 panels, but we do what we can with string as well. A brand new experiment for me this year is onions. I've never grown onions before, and so that's what these little guys are all here. They seem to be doing pretty decent. I need to get some mulch down and cover them up a bit to prevent some weeds and help hold moisture in. But tomatoes and onions are on this is the south side of the garden here. And in between these marigolds, that's hopefully for pest control and also for some color. I have some basil. My plants are itty bitty. I did start them from seed this year, and so they're kind of small, but we will get some basil out of that. A few more tomato plants over here, along with bell peppers. I was really sad because I had seed saved last year from my bell peppers, and so many of them got eaten, and I wasn't sure what was eating them. Only a few of them survived, and I went to the local nursery and got a 6-pack of a few other bell peppers so that we could still have some, because bell peppers are like money trees. If you think about it, every bell pepper that you buy in a store are often $1 each. So these are my money trees. Every little bell pepper is worth $1, and they're just getting ready to start putting out some flowers as well. My garlic is doing amazing. I've been so impressed with these this year. So these garlics here are soft neck garlic, which I had grown last year and saved a few to plant. I wasn't super thrilled with them, but I still had some, and I had the space here, so I planted those. But I got a hardneck garlic variety, and these are huge, and I'm really excited to pull them up pretty soon, actually, and see how they've turned out. And then I've got to make some plans for what to do with this other half of the bed for the rest of the summer. Over on this side of the arches, I have pole beans. They are starting to take off and race up the poles. I love watching them do this every year and see how tall they get and which little strings get the farthest up. It's so fun. They grow so well here. And then on this one, I had done some cucumber plants, but only 3 of them sprouted. So I either need to go and get a few more plants if any of the nurseries still have them this time of year, or hope that we get lots and lots of cucumbers for pickles off from these 3 little plants. I also got a few zucchinis from the nursery when I was there, since I hadn't planted any this year, and those are just kind of taking up some space here, but those look like they're getting ready to put out some flowers as well. Yay! On the back side of these, I have some broccoli plants, which last year cabbage worms ate all of my broccoli. Not a single plant was left. And so I'm happy that at least some of these guys managed to survive and get really big and tall. I've lost a few, and there's a few that are itty bitty, but hopefully this means we'll get a few decent heads of broccoli this season. I haven't seen the worms, so I check them all the time to look for those stupid little green worms. I had heard that those worms are cabbage moths, and I've heard that they're territorial. Someone said that by putting out little decoys, that the cabbage moths will see that there's already moths living in this area and they won't come and lay their eggs here. So maybe that's actually working. I don't know. It was worth a try. These were just cut from a template that I found online, and they're plastic, so they're from like a sour cream container, and the little dots identify them as cabbage moths. So maybe that's working. I hope so. I planted a few zinnias here and there just for some little pops of color, make the garden be pretty, a place that you want to spend time during the summer. Over here is another, what are we gonna find at the nursery to plant? So these are pumpkins this year. Howden pumpkins, it's just whatever they had. That seemed like a fun thing. We had tried to grow watermelon in this space last year, and they didn't really turn into much of anything good. So we're trying out a few pumpkin plants here this year. Some more zinnias for some color back there. And then finally my GreenStalk towers. This first one here is completely carrots. I have 3 different varieties of carrots in here. I'll have to go back and look. If you're wondering about any specific varieties that I'm growing of any of these things, please leave me a comment and I will go look it up and let you know what varieties I have of all these things planted this year. So this one is completely carrots, and some of the carrots germinated so much better than others. I mean, look, it's completely empty. That's really weird. So I tried to thin them out a bit and put some in the spots that weren't growing anything, but I don't know if they're going to survive making that transfer. We'll see. This is another complete experiment. I've never grown potatoes before, and potatoes in a GreenStalk tower, I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. I've got some red potatoes in 2 of the tiers and some russet type potatoes in the other 3. So this is kind of going crazy, and I can't really do much hilling like you're supposed to do with potatoes. I did manage to put in a little extra dirt as they've grown, so hopefully that will help, and we'll see if we get any potatoes out of this year. And then our greens tower, well, I have broccoli as well up in the very top. Those ones aren't nearly as big as, well, they're getting bigger as some of those ones down there. That was just to kind of fill in the extra space that I had. I also planted some mini zinnias to fill in the space. I started with greens, a whole bunch of a different one in each pocket all the way around, and then after those ones germinated, I did another tier all the way around with different ones, and then after that I think I did one more. Yep, I did one more all the way around, so they've kind of staggered and we won't have greens ready all at the same time, although they kind of are at this point. Because then I gave up and said, all right, we're just going to plant straight lettuce on these last 2 tiers all the way around. So those will be ready in a few weeks. hopefully when these ones are done, we've been picking salads from here and eating a lot of those. And yeah, it's been interesting to see which greens bolt sooner than others and which ones we actually enjoy the taste of, so that hopefully next year I'll know exactly what greens to do that will get the most use. But I've really loved putting greens in the GreenStalk towers because they don't go down into the dirt. They're basically completely clean already when you pick them straight out of the tower. So that's really, really cool. This tower specifically is called the leaf variety. These ones are the original. You can see the pockets are a little bit deeper. And so the original is 5 tiers tall and the leaf is actually 7. So I can fit more, but something like greens, they don't have a very big root system, and so they don't need to have the deeper pockets, but then I can plant more all the way around. So there you go. There's just a quick look at what we've got growing in our 3rd year garden here, with a lot of vertical gardening as much as we can. If you have questions about anything, please leave a comment and I will get back to you. I hope to film a couple more of these little tour videos, show you how things are growing in July and August and September. It's always fun to see the progression of things. If you want to see more of the day-to-day sort of stuff out here, I post pretty regularly on Instagram. I will leave those links in the description if you want to check them out. And in the meantime, thanks for being here and coming along, and hit subscribe, leave a comment, leave a thumbs up. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for being here.